Hello all, this is Damini, co-founder of WeMakeScholars. I welcome you to yet another episode of our series Discover Study Abroad. So today I'm covering something offbeat. So I have Agnishika Ray and her mother with us. And Agnishika is pursuing her master's in animation at Royal College of Art. For those of you who do not know, Royal College of Art is ranked number one globally for art and design. So, why I'm saying this is offbeat is because generally 90% of the applications what we receive at WeMakeScholars are for engineering and medical and management, such kind of programs. And that is very understood because, when I talk about, let's say, Agnishika's fees, it is about 60 lakhs for the entire, 1 year course, which is, quite on the upper end. And I think in India, the middle class people don't think that spending such a huge amount is worthy if the course is not engineering or MBA and things like that. And there is a similar mindset existing even with the lenders, the NBFCs and the banks. Even they think that whether such a student will be able to get a job, and even if they are able to get a job, whether they will get enough salary to pay back a 60 lakhs kind of loan. Which is kind of definitely understood because from Indian perspective we don't spend that much money for arts and design related program. So when such an application comes to us, because 90% of the applications what we get are also for the regular mainstream programs, so when such an application comes, it becomes quite challenging because the lender is not ready to give and the student is asking for such a high amount. Sometimes the lender will offer only 20 lakhs unsecured and things like that. So when Agnishika came in, I think even her journey was kind of having a lot of lows where the lenders were not at all giving her 60 lakhs unsecured, and someone was telling 20, someone was telling 25, and she wanted more amount, that also without security. And I think it was challenging. It was challenging even for us. It was challenging for the financial officer. But when we made it happen, and I think that was the real satisfaction for us, that we could help the students. So there were a lot of emotional lows also, which you will hear in this whole session, what her mother went through, and what kind of phases they had when the funding was not happening. So I think this session is not from the from the information perspective. I think parents and students who are choosing something offbeat should watch this. And I think that was the main reason why I wanted to cover this video, was because, see, moving forward, the future generation is going to take up programs which are offbeat, which are different from the regular programs from the engineering and all. Probably people are going to take more of filmmaking programs or animation and more of creative fields. So for those people, from parents perspective, what is the thought? From students perspective, how hard this journey is going to be. I think that's what you need to hear, and that's why you should watch this session and see this journey actually went ahead, and how it came to a conclusion, and how everything ended well. So let's start this session. So hello Agnishika, hello ma'am. Thanks a lot for taking out time for this session. So I'm very grateful to both of you that you have accepted my request and decided to share your experiences about the admission and financial front in this session. I'm sure it's going to be very helpful for all the people who are watching this. So thanks a lot. So
my
Agnishika,
pleasure joining you. My pleasure joining you today, Damini, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk to the young people.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So Agnishika, my first question goes to you. Even before I come to the top college which you have got into and the program which you have chosen, I wanted the viewers to know a little bit about your background. Where do you hail from? Where did you grow up, and where did you study?
Mm-hmm. Okay, we are basically from Bengal, and we have traveled basically to a lot of states. Like my dad had a transferable job, so I have done my 10th standard in Jodhpur. I've done my 12th standard in Madurai. Then I did my bachelor's in Chennai, which was from ICAT Design and Media College, and it was a 2 years dual degree, one from Bharatiya University called BSc Digital Media, and the other one from Birmingham University, which was BA Communication Honors. Then I worked for a bit, which was like I did my since my bachelor's was in a creative field, but I worked in a non-creative field, which was like not related to art. So after 1.5 years, I felt like I want to go in, like I had a craving to go into more creative things. So that's why after that I started pursuing my master's degree.
Great.
Yeah.
Sure. So, ma'am, my next question would be to you, because she had always been in India and with you. So, what was your first reaction when she told you that she's planning to study abroad?
Yeah, so that is, a lot aspirations for a lot of young people, but for us, we had never actually planned for it, and we had never sincerely thought about it. But I'm sure she was hosting this dream inside her, and she was preparing herself for it. And when she said it, of course, the first thing obviously that comes to mind is finances. And I told her very clearly that, see, we can't afford to send you. So if you want to go, it has to be on your own rights. I mean, you have to win a scholarship, or you have to manage to do something like that. Only then we can send you. Otherwise, we can't afford to send you. And so that was, of course, the initial reaction. But yes, I was encouraging her to, apply in places. But frankly, I was not very serious about it. Not at all the way she was serious. So yeah.
Okay, but you were supportive on this journey, not like, hey, how can you think about it? Not in that way, right?
No, not at all. Because she is definitely a very, hardworking and sincere student. So if she, wants to pursue her dreams, and this is a very unlikely field, especially in middle class families in India, where we all parents aspire their children to be doctors and engineers and CAs and stuff like that. So being in a creative field is really challenging. So if there is something that needs to be done to, help her pursue her dreams and reach the place where she wants to reach, I am always there. We are always there by her side. So I never discouraged her to go forward. But we had a lot of apprehensions, but definitely never asked her that, no, you can't do this. So yeah.
Got it. So that's very inspiring and motivating, ma'am. I think a lot of, I have told it, there was a recent interview with a woman magazine, and I told them my last message was only a woman can meet another woman. So if any woman is successful today, I think there is always a women, and mostly mothers behind that. So it's very inspiring that, you were supporting her on that path, and you're so, supportive of that thought as well, that, engineering and probably medical is something which a lot of parents support their kids about, but about creative fields, I think that's very interesting. So Agnishika, my next question to you is on the similar lines, that you chose a path which is quite different from how a lot of other, so I can tell you, like, 90% of the applications which probably we are getting is into engineering and management field for studies abroad. So you chose a different path, and I'm sure it must have been a very bold decision. So where did you get, like, the strength, and why you particularly chose this path?
I think I think since from school, like I have seen all my friends going into, engineering, as you said, management and everything. So, but I never actually felt like I had a future there. Like when I started thinking about my career, I always used to think like, what would I actually do? Like I never really had a knack for that. So like, that's why even in my 11th and 12th standard, I took humanities, because I thought I wanted to go towards that. But even then, like, I think most of the people, like I was confused, like what I want to do in my bachelor's. So I think even over there, like I would say, like my mom was really supportive. Like she told me, like she gave me the idea that, like, since I'm good with art and design, like maybe I should pursue that. So that's when I got the idea, like I should maybe go forward with that. So yeah, that's why in bachelor's I like found animation interesting, and that's why I took it. So like that's what, like I would say it was a bold move, because all my friends were obviously going towards, the engineering and medical everything. So it, like I was the only one going towards this. So it was a bit scary at first, but when I got into animation, I felt like, yeah, it is, like I took a good decision.
Sure,
Yeah.
great. That was awesome. And I'm sure, when you got into Royal College of Art, they must not have been receiving a lot of applications from brilliant students like you from India, because Indians, have this apprehension about such programs. So you got into such a top school, Royal College of Art, in the animation program for your masters. What's the secret sauce behind, cracking such a top school? I think it is ranked one globally. Also, it is in top ranked institutes for such programs. So what is the secret sauce? Can you share that with our viewers?
Well, first of all, thank you for that. But like, I'm not sure what the secret sauce is, but I feel like since for as a design, art and design school, I'm not sure like how much marks matter. But like, I did get a first class in my bachelor's, so maybe that might have helped my application. But they generally see your portfolio and your statement, and also even for the portfolio, I feel in design schools they don't see like how perfect your work is or how much skilled your work is. They probably see how much potential you have and how much you can do. So I think that's what I tried to do. I didn't like I don't know how good my work is, but I tried to be authentic and show how much I can do and my thought process behind it. So I think that helped my application, and I feel I was very true to what I wanted to do, and not just for the sake of making an application I did it. So I felt that was something which helped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just a follow-up question, Agnishika, on this, because you mentioned that you had a work experience for 1.5 year, which was not related to what you studied. So did you like, was it hard to justify that, why you left that field and, you came back to that creative field? So either in the interview,
um,
if there was one, or on the SOP, did you have to like really justify that part?
Not really, but it was a bit connected to films, but my role was like I was a production assistant. So I feel like the way I justified it, because I was always quiet and shy. So over there, I opened up a lot and I started talking a lot. So and I did like look at the other side of art, like how people manage and did stuff. So I think that was something which helped.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Great. So, ma'am, my next question is to you, because when anyone thinks of studying abroad, I think, as you also mentioned, that the first thought and the first reaction was like, "Hey, we can't manage your finances, so you have to sort out something." So what were your initial thoughts about managing finances, and was education loan always in the picture? When she was planning to study abroad.
Yeah. So before coming directly to answer this question, I'll just take a step back, and because a lot of people will be probably watching this and wanting to plan. So this planning phase is extremely important, is my lesson learned from this entire process, because our thing happened extremely quickly and it was not at all planned. So if somebody is looking to go abroad to study, and for people like us, it is not just because we have money we want to go and study out abroad. It's not that. When you have talent, when you know you have the potential, then only you want to go and pursue something because you want to reach somewhere. So the planning phase is extremely important to get scholarships. And why I'm mentioning this is because when Agnishika had applied, we had not planned this. So she had just applied to try out whether she is worth anything, in any of the big universities out there. So when she actually got it, first of all, it was a little unbelievable for us that how did she get in Royal College of Art, and all credit goes to her because she is extremely hardworking. And so at that point of time, we did not get the opportunity to apply for any scholarships, and it was not planned, and we did not apply for any scholarships. And we were in a very big fix that such a big opportunity, how can we lose it? What do we do now? So how do we go forward with it? Because as you mentioned earlier, it is a really big amount, right? So and so at that point of time, she told me about WeMakeScholars, and because we didn't have the money to send her with our so we had to look for, definitely we have to look for an educational loan. and what is the best way of, because we know that we have friends who have had their children go abroad, or relatives, and they really have to go around in circles with banks and stuff like that to get these loans sanctioned, and it's a huge process, and the paperwork is like killing. So when, of course, we thought about that is the only way out for us, that a bank loan or some sort of an educational loan, but from where we can arrange it so soon, and how can we make the process simpler, because her father has a very challenging job and he's busy most of the time, and it was mostly she and I who were working together. So that is when she mentioned to me that one of her colleagues where she was working had applied through WeMakeScholars, and it was a big help. So I was like a little apprehensive at first. What is this WeMakeScholars? I've never heard of her. Is this an authentic institution or organization, or how is it even helping? What is their stake in it? So all kinds of questions that come to a parent's mind. Sure. So I was not very convinced at the beginning, but yes, when we went into it and researched, and she read, she's extremely good at researching, so she really went into all the videos and everything she understood, explained to me what it was all about, and then yes, we applied through WeMakeScholars, and then of course the rest of it is history. So
yes. Sure. So, ma'am, my next follow-up question on that. Because even when you were applying via WeMakeScholars, I think, even though we connected you with multiple lenders and we were following up, I think lenders were really not. Let's say some lenders I saw in the the whole journey what you had, that they were not giving you the amount what you were looking for. Sometimes they were not telling you for days that what is the final amount they are gonna give you, and finally everything turned out to be good, and you could get a significant amount for this education. So do you think it was an overall good idea to apply via WeMakeScholars rather than applying directly? I know you have told a little bit on that, but just like a quick question on that.
Yes, actually, because this was our first experience with going for an educational loan, we didn't have any idea of how to go about it and things like that. And one of the main reasons, one of the main things, Damini, is like, again, what we were discussing earlier, her field, the subject that she chose, and the university, because most of the lending institutes, whether it is an NBFC or whether it is a bank or whoever, they have this top 10 in their list, and they have these subjects in their list. So they are very they don't like to take risks of giving, probably, that is these kind of subjects. And so even though we were trying to reiterate to them several times that please go and check the QS ranking, that Royal College of Art is global #1, and it is not at all easy to get into that. And so that was a little bit of a setback here, because my since you are like working so hard on this field, so my one suggestion would be like, if the lending institutes can even think of these kind of subjects moving away from the mainstream, that would be a big help to many students, I think, and also would give a lot of courage to students and parents alike, that even these subjects can be taken up and studied, and it is not going to be like thrown out of the window or anything like that. So that would be a big help, if something, even banks and institutes could consider subjects out of those 5, the STEM subjects or 5 core subjects or whatever. And yes, the journey was good for it was a huge learning experience for us, and we can probably advise a lot of people about a lot of things. And we also have, she also has a sibling at home, and for whom now we can, we are better prepared mentally to plan, because we now know the entire process. And I think it was a great decision to go through WeMakeScholars, because as I said, whatever documents they asked for, we didn't have to step out of the house. We didn't have to, physically do anything except for gathering the documents that they asked for, and simply upload those and talk to whoever was talking to us. That's all that we did. And all the hard work happened behind the scenes. And it was an extremely easy process for us, because, as I said, we didn't have to apply as such, because that was happening for us through you, and that was the easiest part for us actually, and it made our life a lot easier.
Yeah, sure. So thank you, ma'am, for sharing those details. And I totally agree with you. I think that there was another student I was talking to on the same issue, wherein lenders in India, they are, because ma'am, one thing you need to understand, the people who are sitting in these financial institutions, they've grown up in India, and they are probably see now the generation which is let's say opting for higher education, they are evangelists, and they are ready to explore new programs. But the people who are sitting in the financial institutions are let's say a generation before people, so they according to them, like only an engineer and only a person who is going for an MBA sort of program will get a job, and they will be able to get their loan back. So even we have had hard time sometimes convincing them for aviation, or convincing them for a public policy program, telling them, hey, what, this institute is top ranked, and a student who is getting into such an institute is definitely worthy of employment, and is going to get significant income and pay back your loan. So we are trying to bring that change, and thanks a lot for sharing that as a suggestion, because when you as a parent you're supporting your kid to pursue such a program, I'm sure that the financial institution should also support in such a case.
Yeah.
Sure. Now my next question to you is, to you and Agnishika both. So your financial officer was Vaishnavi from WeMakeScholars, even though you spoke so high about WeMakeScholars and the service. So I wanted to particularly ask, how was your interaction with Vaishnavi, and how was the whole journey with her?
Yeah, I think Agnishika can start with that, because she was the one who started speaking to Vaishnavi, because I came in the middle when things started to fall apart for us. So I can maybe add a little bit there. So Agnishika can take on.
Yeah, like I think for me from the beginning, Vaishnavi was almost like a friend to me. Like whatever doubt, like it, since this is a really new thing for, like, nobody in our family has ever gone abroad, so like we didn't know what to do. So like I had even the smallest questions what I had, like she was always ready to, like, even if I felt like it was a silly question, she always was ready to help me and answer that properly. And yeah, like even when my mother was at first apprehensive of what like WeMakeScholars is, like she was very patient, and she explained to her like what you all do and everything. So I think, yeah, and since there was a point where like things were falling apart and we were really frustrated, like I also like and there was a point where we were thinking like maybe we shouldn't go forward with Royal College of Art, because I had also got to another university which had a lesser fees. So I was thinking like maybe, since it's not happening, I can go with that. But she was always there patiently helping, like, no, this will happen, we can go forward with this. And yeah, so that's why she was always like a consoling friend to me from the beginning.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, and as I was adding, like, yes, there was a point when, we were really feeling very upset, because it's a big amount actually. So, and we had some constraints from our side, like there are different criteria for getting the loan and all, and we were not getting a good amount to go through with that, and Royal College was seeming impossible. So like Agnishika said, that she also got through Birmingham City University. We were thinking of dropping Royal College and going to Birmingham, but and I was like so upset. I just called up Vaishnavi one day, and I was like almost in tears, and I spoke to her maybe. I don't know. I was probably a little harsh and also very emotional and sentimental, and I kind of I said, I mean, I just wanted her to do some. I said, please do something for us, and I don't know what is going to happen. And this is such a big dream, and you can imagine what it holds in the future for her if she's able to go to Royal College of Art and all. And she was like such an angel. She was so sweetly. She didn't, not a word of rudeness, not a word of impatience, not a word of any kind of anything against me. And she was like totally, she said, I totally understand your emotions and outbursts and all, and let me see what I can do for you. Let me try to help you out, and I'll come back to you within a day's time, and letting you know what else can be done. And like, she was so extremely helpful. um, and I apologized to her later on that I had such a bad outburst, but she was very sweet, and she went forward. She didn't, she didn't come out of it saying that, okay, let somebody else take over, I'm done with these people, and like, these people are so rude or whatever. No, not at all. She was there with us till the last minute, and it was wonderful conversing with Vaishnavi, and she was a very sweet person, and I'm really grateful that she was our partner in this.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So, ma'am, before I came for this call, I was talking to her, and she was telling me all these things, and she was telling that Damini, one day her mother started crying, and I couldn't take it, and I was imagining my mother over there, and I was in such a I was in a stage that I was at a stage that I thought something has to be done. And she was like, I immediately called up the team leader, and I told, please speak to this person and tell him to increase the amount. And I think that was the point when you were not getting the amount what you wanted. So she was sharing those things with me just before this call. And also she mentioned there was a point that I think Agnishika called her and told, we have decided to drop the plan of Royal College of Art because the fee is, you're not able to get such a huge amount of loan. And I think 2 days later, you called Vaishnavi and told, no, we have decided to go ahead with the same college. So I'm sure that, in the background, what would have happened at that point in time, maybe at home you discussed and you decided that let's somehow manage it. So I think ma'am, when a financial officer from WeMake Scholars goes on to this journey with the student and with the parent, I think they totally I think probably we even train them and we tell them that there are going to be many points when parents or the student is going to be very low, and you have to have that empathy at that point in time, and you have to take it personally and do something. So yeah, so I'm happy that Vaishnavi could be that friend and could take it out. So yeah, so I think we'll move away from the finance topic. I think we have discussed much of it, and we could hear the story how it all went. So Agnishika, my last question would be to you to conclude this session. You have chosen this, so I would like to know what are your future aspirations, and you have chosen this program in animation. So how this take you a step closer to what exactly you want to do in future?
First, like in animation, I'm like more interested towards like filmmaking and like how we can put that, put animation into that. And I think, Royal College is really good at teaching that. And more than, the technical skills, like what I'm learning here is like how to, express my thoughts, and how, like everything other than the skills is what is important. That's what I'm learning here studying abroad. So, and plus, like I feel like it is a very global atmosphere, and I'm learning how, you know because I've always been in India, and I like only know that how things work there. So now in abroad, I'm kind of learning how, every like there are people from all over the world, so I'm learning how everyone is like interacting with each other. And yeah, and that's why I aspire, like over here I'll be learning, more than being, being good in my skills, I'll be learning to be better as a person. So that's something I'm aspiring.
Okay. So do you look to work abroad after this? Like after this course, do you plan to stay in the UK for a long time, or do you plan to establish your career somewhere else?
Yeah, I think, initially after my graduation, I do plan to study, work abroad, because I feel it really has a lot of opportunity. I'll be able to learn a lot of work experience here. And maybe like later, I think I'll be also learning to, do something on my own and make my own film. So, yeah.
Okay, great. So I can sense that entrepreneurship probably bug in you. So you're looking to do that. So great, Agnishika. I think it was like very insightful, and you have got into such a great college. So I think portfolio was the primary thing what you mentioned help you getting in there. And I think your mother discussed so much about the financial front from a parent's perspective. So I think this session is very informative for all those who are watching this and planning to get onto this journey of studying abroad, especially those who are not from the I would say the regular fields like engineering or medical or. So thanks a lot for taking time for this session. And it was like, for me, it was like a very good session. So I'm sure people who are watching it is going to like it as well.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot.
Thank you for
ma'am.
having
Thank
us.
you,
Yeah.
Agnishika. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank
Damini.
you.
Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon to never miss any updates from us.